Lars-Petter, by all means, take it away.
Thank you, Evelyn. I will just share my screen here. Just a minute. Okay, so I think we're good to go.
Yes.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Lars-Petter Windelstad Kjos, and I am the Chief Product Officer here at Motimate, and I've been that for 4 years, being one of the 2 co-founders. Before that, I was a creative director at Hyper for 17 years. I've been an entrepreneur for about 20 years, and my education and background is pedagogy. Okay, so this is me, and together I have Mr. Motti here, and we would like to talk to you about why engagement is key to learn. And I have a friend here in Norway who is one of the most famous pedagogues in the country, his father being a famous professor, writing a lot of books for the university about pedagogy. And we had a chat the other week about this topic, engagement in learning. And he shared with me some really insightful thinking about this topic, and I would like to share that with you now. So he told me that engagement is creative if those concerned see and believe in something, understand that the others involved want you to be involved, and that you experience that what you do is considered important, he shared with me. And I was like, wow, I mean, that is so... Okay, so he said, well, I would try to make it a little bit clearer for you. So let me put up an equation for the same thing that make it super clear. And I said, yeah, that's super. Can you do that? Awesome. Okay, send it to me. And he sent me this one, and I went like, yeah, whatever. So for me, there are 3 things that it's very important when you talk about this. First is keep it real, be authentic. I mean, if you want people to be engaged, you gotta be real. The other thing is what we call be unboring. I mean, especially when we are in the employee engagement area, you know, that the employees, they don't choose whether or not, you know, like if you do some mandatory training or whatever, you have to be there, you have to participate. And then I think you are obligated to make it unboring. And thirdly, try new things. I mean, don't stick to what you always or normally do. Try out new things and be brave, even though we don't know how to do that. So in the end, people love stories, so tell them. And I would like to share and tell you about 3 stories today. And the first one is from Cubus. Cubus is a fashion retailer, and they have stores about 10 countries around Europe. They are part of the Warner Group, which is one of the big retailers with 10 different brands, and they have about 10,000 employees in Europe. Okay, so working with them, and you might know that this is a term in retail saying that retail is detail. And by that, they mean that it's so important that every staff member in store do the right things every day. And they have pinned down, I think it was about 20 things they want everyone to act on when they were working in stores. And they came and said, could you help us? We would like to do some kind of brochure or something that will, in the end, you know, I can hand out, and that will make the staff act upon these 20 rules. And the problem is, of course, that we have a series of young millennials working in these stores, and it's like, I don't know if a brochure is the ultimate solution for that. So what we started on also was that it's pretty hard to remember 20 things in order to act on. It's too many. So we worked on them, and we got those 20 things to become 8 things. And those 8 things are these. I won't read them all out to you, but you know, 1, always wear our own brand clothing. So don't stand in a shop and wear your competitor retailer's brand, right? Always meet and greet the customers, say hello when they come into the store, and also, you know, help out in rehearsal rooms. I guess everyone can recognize that awkward feeling standing in your trousers in a rehearsal room, waiting for that girl to, you know, find another size of your jeans and maybe not coming back in a while. So it's super important to feel confident there, and also that the store staff know what to do. Okay, so the brochure, bad idea, get it gone. And we needed another idea. And then we start talking, how do we do things around here? What is what we can call the Cubus way? And then we start talking about the 8 rules. And we say, you know, what is this 8 rules? Yeah, this is how we do it. And then we start thinking that this is how we do it. Well, that is something, right? Okay, so we figure out this is an old Mountain Jordan song from back in the 80s, and I think you all remember that song. So, okay, we got the song, we got the rights to use the song. Now we need an ID to make movies for all those 8 different rules. So what we started out was the idea was having like famous movie scenes, like the ones that you see now, which is from the Titanic. And if you Google it, you will see that there are so many like super famous clips or scenes from different movies. So what we did is say, okay, well, let's make one movie for each of those 8 rules. And remember here, this is supposed to be created for this millennium kind of target group. So what we did, we put it together in Motimate. We made a Moti called This Is How We Do It. And we made a Moti for all these 8 rules. And the video here I'm going to show you was the starting point. And the first one, this film is all about always remember to use their own branded clothes when they work in store. And it's based upon the Batman movie, and the film scene is the suit up scene from Batman. And the cool part about this film is this is a starting point, right? And then they have like the idea and the concept, and they went over to making cool movie poster, hanging them out around in the restrooms. And they have made 8 cool movies, you know, Good, the Bad, the Ugly, The Matrix, you know, The Hulk, and different movies. I can't have time to show you them all, but they are super cool. And I really love it. And as a little cool extra thing, they put the song, the This Is How We Do It song in the playlist in store, like a secret message to the work staff, remembering to always, you know, remember this is how we do it. The other story I would like to share you is from If Insurance. It's one of the largest insurance company in the Nordics. And they approached us and say, hey, we want to use Motto. We want to, you know, learn. We want to share knowledge. We want to inspire people. We want to be inspired. We want to identify and find those internal heroes and lift them up. We want to build culture, and we want some passion in this. At the same time, you know, like we have a really busy work environment, everyone's super busy doing their thing. And how can we kind of get their attention? And you're like, we are the HR department. It's not that easy for us always, you know, like to be that engaging, or they don't always, you know, like they don't like longing for, you know, like stuff from the HR department always. So we needed kind of idea, and we start talking about a lot of different kind of ideas. And after a while, we start talking about podcasting, and we said, well, what kind of podcast do you listen to? And we start sharing. And then after a while, we start talking, what if we made a podcast? And then they said, yeah, that was cool, but we don't know how to do that. We don't know. I mean, I never done that before. I never tried it. Can we manage? And I was like, yeah, you can use your iPhone, connect it to a microphone, you know, like start, try, be brave. And they did what, you know, if you know Pippi Longstocking, she said, I never tried that before, so I should definitely be able to do that. And that's exactly what they did. And they made this podcast called the Skadepodden. And I will share now a little clip, and it's in Norwegian, so probably you don't understand what they're saying, but I just want to share the tone of voice and the feeling, the good feeling of this podcast.
Hallo, Grete. Hallo, du, da var det faktisk podcast-tid igjen, og for de som måtte lure, så vi har målt opp meteren, og vel så det, så her er alt veldig koronasafe. Ja, veldig. Jeg har til og med satt meg helt inn i hjørnet med høyttaleren i fanget, bare for at ikke du... Eller mikrofon er det også noen som kaller det. Det var mikrofon, var det.
Okay, so this is, I think, a really cool example of doing things. But the really cool part is that they started out, you know, like with this microphone, connected to an iPhone, just went in office, made in the first episode, and built from there. They have doing this for a couple of years and more now. Now they have built their own cool podcast studio. Being a guest on the show is super like rewarding. They really have tried and found a way to identify the internal heroes, and using podcasts as a measure to really tell the stories, share knowledge, share like insights from different parts. And the coolest part of it all, when you look at the feedback they get from the employees, is so good. This is from one of the feedbacks in Motimate. One of the employees saying it's very inspiring to listen to and a lot of exciting things happening. You just have to keep doing this. And in Motimate, when you finish a Moti, you have to rate them from 1 to 5 stars. And the average rating of a Moti, the Skadepodden, this podcast, is 4.6 stars, almost full score. It's amazingly, and I'm so proud of them for daring to do this. The final and last story I want to share with you is from Frati. Frati is a small Italian restaurant on the west coast of Norway. And I've heard about this case through our customer success team. I was so amazed. I think it was that cool. Okay, the case is the following. At the restaurant, there work a lot of young students, and it was very important for the restaurant owner to make them aware and engage in topics like, what if someone hurt themselves? How can you help out? What if one of a guests had a heart attack or a stroke, or what if a fire emerged, and what you are supposed to do? And like it's being a dad talking to your kids about safety stuff. And it, again, fire, yeah, dad, I know, blah, 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 blah. And at the same time, super important. So they needed an idea, and the idea they came up with was this: let's turn it into a treasure hunt. And that they actually did. So in Motimate, there's a little feature. It's called a learning activity, and that is based on, you can scan a QR code, and by scanning the code, the Moti will set as completed. And it's so amazing when you make a product and suddenly people start using that product for other purposes maybe that was meant for, and it's so creative. So what they did was this. They had this, and they said, this course aims to show you where stuff is around the restaurant and give you a little inside story about each corner. There will be a QR code for each place. Read the info line to figure out where the code is. How to do it? Come to the restaurant about 15 minutes before your shift begins, and to start, ask around where you can find all the spots. Good luck. There's 2 things here. One is a cool activation. But this finally, I think it's so cool, is that they encourage people to talk to colleagues because there are new employees, and this is a very cool icebreaker when you come to work at the first day. So they call a visual round. So here we have the first task. Here's the fire extinguisher at the bakery, and you have to kind of go in. It says the QR code is located under extinguisher sign, and then you click register, you open the QR scanner, you scan the code, you get approved, and then you open the next clue. Here's the first aid kit, like it's in the kitchen, right on the side of the fire extinguisher. You find our first aid kit. You scan it, you approve it, you go first. Oh, there's a fire hose by the stairs. That's good to know if something happens around the stairs. You register, and finally, here's the paper crusher. At this point, Christina, you know where the back door is. And a little cool thing that you can personalize messages within Kahoot, in Motimate, and then it says, at this point, Christina, which is the name, you now know where the back door is. Go in the backyard. On the left side, you find a big machine. The machine is only used to crush paper boxes. The machine itself is not difficult to use. Now that you know where it is, make sure you crush and box it with someone else at the first time. Again, making people connect. It's so smart, so clever. It's so easy. It's just some text. It's just an image. So you don't have to make all this cool content. You can make it engaging still. So after mission completed, all gone. So to sum it up, be brave, try out new things. Make a podcast if you are curious about it. Or even, make your own kind of company version of TED Talk, make a treasure hunt like Frati, or a digital venue, which Staples has done. I haven't time to I would really like to share that with you, but I will put it up on our website as a customer story for you, or even think about how it can be used in external communications. So if you're looking for a solution that makes learning fun, easy, and rewarding, please check out our website at motimateapp.com for more information. And thanks you so much for listening. And if you would like to find me on LinkedIn, I'm there at Lars-Petter, Windelstad, Kjos. Thank you.
Thank you, Lars-Petter. That was, in one word, absolutely unboring. Everybody agreed with that in the chat, so thank you so much.